Good morning, Mr. T's plastic class. Just want to start off with our nice little joke. Here is today's joke. How does an octopus prepare for battle? Or how is it prepared for battle? Well, it's prepared by being well armed. That's right, think about it. Well armed. So we're moving on to a new topic. This topic is called the idea of probability. The idea of probability is that we're taking smart, educated guesses, and it's also called chance. So what I have here in front of you are some pictures out of the student reference book that I'm just going to start with, but you're probably going to want to turn to page 247 in your math journal. Again, I hope to keep this kind of short and sweet and kind of get right to the heart of the issue. So we're going to cut right to the chase. Probability, we have our chart right over here. So this is kind of our chart of possibility. We have something that could be 100% certain, so we could use 100%, or we could use 100 over 100, or we could use just the number 1. So we can write it as a percent, we can write it as a fraction, or we can write it as a whole number. So then we go to the other thing would be 50-50. Oh, that's 50-50, 50%. So this is very equal. It could go either way. And then we have right in between. So we have what they say is likely or very likely, or we have less likely and not so likely at all. Very unlikely. All right, so that's kind of our range. So what we're going to be talking about are mostly the idea of fractions, creating a fraction that shows our probability. So one of the easiest ideas is take a look at this dice, just a normal six-sided die. So the number, there's a number on each side. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know that there are a total of 6 outcomes. When you throw that dice onto the floor or on the table, it's going to land in one of 6 ways. Now, it could be quite possible it could land on the side, but I've never seen that. So we're just not going to worry about it. What if it lands on the side? Because that is very unlikely. I don't know about impossible, but it's very unlikely. So you throw the dice and you roll a 3. So what is that chance? What is the chance of rolling a 3? We know that there are 6 outcomes, and 3 is only one of those 6. So we would write it as a chance of 1 out of 6 of rolling a 3. Now, is it equal? That's the other thing we want to look at when we're talking about probability. Are there equal outcomes? Does every number have the same chance? Yes, because there's nothing different about the die. Each side is the same, nothing different, just the number of bumps or dots. But the way that it's made, there's no difference. The number 1 has the same chance as the number 3 of being rolled. So it is equally outcome. Now here's another example. There's a wheel. So when you spin the wheel, you have a chance to spin a number. And what is it out of? Out of 10. So what's the chance of rolling an 8? You would have a 1 out of 10 chance of rolling an 8. What is that as a percent? You remember how to change a fraction into a percent? Remember, we take our bottom, we want to turn it into 100, so I know to multiply by 10, and then I'd get both, when you multiply both the top and the bottom by 10, then you get your 10%. We have a 10% chance. Or you could just remember that 1 out of 10 is 10%. That would be good too. So you have a 10% chance of spinning the wheel and getting an 8. Now let me flip the tables. What is the chance, the probability of getting an even number? An even number is, how many even numbers do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a 5 out of 10 chance to roll an even number. Okay, so you can say it however many different ways you want. What are the chances of rolling a single digit number? So our only non-single digit would be 10. So we have a 9 out of 10 chance of rolling a single digit number. Okay? The last thing, let's look at our picture here. Is that going to allow an equal outcome? Is there an equal chance between the blue and the red? No. Our red is much bigger, so we cannot really predict the outcome. There's a greater chance of it being red, obviously, but we can't say it's a 1 out of 2 because they're not equal. This looks like it could be a third, so I think that it would be a 2/3 chance red, 1/3 blue. But you see how it's not equal, so that's something that you got to look out for. Alright, I'm going to start with our page. So here's what it looks like for you. You're given a bunch of different spinners and you need to write the letter that coordinates with the sentence. So I'm going to do number 1. There is about a 1/4 chance that the spinner will land on blue. So I need 4 chances. So that means that I can only look at B, D, B and D. That's it. So if we're landing on blue, I know right here we have 2 out of 4, so that's not correct, so I see that it must be D, so I would write D. There's a 1 in 4 chance of the spinner landing on blue. Okay, you get the gist of it? I think you can work on the rest. We'll go to the next page. Alright, our next page, we have a bunch of dominoes. So when you open up that domino set, here are all the different dominoes that could be possible, or a few that they've chosen. So it says how many possible, suppose all the dominoes are turned face down, so they're all blank when they're face down, and mixed thoroughly. You select one domino and turn it face up. How many possible outcomes are there? So we need to figure out how many dominoes there are total. So I've already counted that we have 26 dominoes. Okay, so if I were to pick one out, what is the chance that I pick one domino? Or let's say the number 1. Let's say I pick this one. What's the chance? That's a 1 out of 26 because there's no other domino like it. It is unique. There's only one domino in this group that has 1 dot and blank. So I would say it would be 1 out of 26. Here's number 2. This is the last one that I'm going to do in this video. But are the outcomes equally likely? Yeah, there's nothing different. We turn them all over. I can't tell which domino is which. There's no repeating number of dominoes. So I would say yes. Now, if we had 2 of these guys, then that would not be true. There's a better chance of getting that domino. Last thing that you're going to want to look at, I'm going to stop the video, but this is really important. This is kind of your formula that you're going to use to figure out the probability. So when we say favorable, that means what we're looking for. We were looking for this domino. That's our favor. That's what we're betting on. We're putting money on that one. And so we have to figure out how many of them that we want to happen out of the total possible outcome. So that's what it looks like right here. Remember, that's how we set up our fraction. Okay, again, if you have questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, you can look at this video, you can look at your student's reference book, you may ask a partner. As always, work hard, and I will see you in real life.